I'm Big Ink. They call me Ink. Ink Kennels LLC. I breed Frenchies, Bulldogs, Pocket Bullies. I mean, anything you could think of that's in the dog world, I mean, I deal with it. And you now tuned in with Stbwrld Media. So I hope they not too messy. What's the biggest risk you took with the breeding industry? I could say the biggest risk I took was just stop working and everything. I think I kind of like just got out and said, forget it, man. I ain't finna go to work for them. I'm tired of working for somebody. I think that was probably the biggest risk. I just stopped working and took like 7 years. I promised for like 5, 6 years I ain't work. I just strictly grinded and stuck on dogs. So I think that's probably one of my biggest risks I took in the dog industry, is giving up my regular life and giving it all to the dogs. Let's see what I got next. That was a good one. I like that one. I like that one. I like that one. Nobody never asked that one. That's pretty cool. What advice would you give someone that want to get in the breeding game or already in the breeding game? Number one advice, don't make no friends. No. I would say the number one advice you get in this breeding game is to stay with your vision, man. You gotta stay with your vision. You can't go with off everybody else like. If you like a dog, that's your vision. Don't let nobody else persuade you into, oh, this is better, and then when they tell you to do it, you don't like it. So the best advice for people that's in the game already and for the people who actually going to try to be in the dog game, stick to your vision. If you say you come into this game to do one thing, you say you coming to make this kind of dog, don't let nobody turn you away from your vision. Stay true to your vision. That's the best advice I can give somebody coming into this one. That was a good one too, man. I ain't gonna lie, you got some good questions. I like these questions. What was your first litter experience like? My first litter experience was, it was hard because I didn't know that it was so much into the bullies and Frenchies. So my first litter was actually standard bully. And it was easy, but I kind of overthought the process because, growing up, we used to dogs just being in the backyard, have puppies, you find them, they run around the yard. This process was a little different. I did take a couple losses, but then I actually learned, you're dealing with a different breed of dogs and a different species of dogs from the dogs that are used to being outside. So my first experience, I won't lie to you, out of 10 or 1 out of 10, it was probably like a 6 in the beginning. But after a while, I got with the program. So if you're not a hands-on person with poop, pee, blood and stuff, yeah, your first experience might not be your best one, but it'll be the best learning experience if you do it yourself. So I can truly say that. It was a learning experience. What's more valuable, connection or quality dogs? Okay, now that's a tricky question. Me personally, I think it would be more the quality of dogs, because you could connect with all the right people at the wrong time and you could connect with the wrong people at the right time. And they could tell you, this is how this goes, and not necessarily connecting with them would be a good person to link up with, basically. Like, you got people in the dog game that everybody like, and then you got people in the dog game that people don't like. So sometimes connection is good, but like I said, stick to your vision with the quality of dogs. Stick with your vision, and you should come out with good quality of dogs, should I say. I don't want to mix it up, so stay with your vision. I mean, you can connect. Connection is always good, networking, but in this dog game, this dog eats dog. Every man for himself. So quality of dogs, if you ask me, because I made a lot of connections and we're not connected anymore. Let's see. That was a good one. How important is social media and branding for breeders today? So today it is, I want to say, like, it's important, but it depends on how you're promoting your breeding. Because now either you're going to promote commotion or you're going to promote your business and just beating yourself off the scene. So it's two types of breeders right now. And there it is. You got the internet breeder and you got the breeders who stick to their dogs. So branding, depending on how you branding it, it can always, good publicity is always good, but then sometimes all publicity is not. So me personally, I think if you focusing on the dogs more, you know, you focusing on your camp and you posting that on the internet that you consistently working, you're gonna attract people. But if you get on the internet and you, I guess, get into the mix and just be on live talking and running your mouth, those connections and those goes back to the connections. You want to brand yourself, stick to one thing and keep posting and keep posting. I don't care if nobody don't like your picture, keep posting that dog over and over and you're gonna see the outcome. So it's most 90% branding and marketing, but the social media today, I don't think it's different ways to do it. So it's more of social media, if you're going on there to make people laugh and tell jokes, then, you know, that's the kind of crowd you're going to get. You're going to get a lot of people watching, nobody buying. But if you want to brand your stuff, continue to post that same dog, and I guarantee you'll see a better outcome. No matter how much it looks like nobody liking it, so what if you get 10 likes? Out of them 10 people, I guarantee those 10 people honestly fuck with your work. The next question. That one tied into branding though. Let's see. Okay, how long have you been in the breeding industry? Okay, I've been in the breeding industry going on 8 years. I can make that short and sweet, going on about 8 years. Started with the bullies like right before pandemic, so we're going on like 7, 8 years. Kind of rough road, but I'm hanging in there. Let's see what else we got now. How did you get into dog breeding? Personally, I'm always like animals. All my life, I lived in Gainesville. I had a farm. I've been raised around horses and stuff. So I'm always been into animals. As far as the dog breeding, I've always had dogs. I always had puppies, never been a breeder. I think it was the pandemic that I saw Ferrari Fred, saw Will, rest in peace. I saw stuff they were doing at dog shows, and they really caught my attention, to be honest. Those two caught my attention, and fell in love with Big Twix and TJ, and after that, I didn't have those caliber of dogs, but that just made me want to work to get to that point. So honestly, I got into breeding watching guys like Ferrari Fred and them during the pandemic and right before the pandemic, making money, black men making money and not doing nothing wrong. That's what so really got me into breeding. I see a couple black guys dressed nice, flashy, just like I like to be, and they wasn't doing no crime. Can't go to jail for breeding dogs. Let's see, I had two that one. I like that one too. That was a good question. What's the first thing to check on a dog? I mean, me personally, I'm big on feet. I can't speak for any other breeder, but I'm gonna speak for me. I cannot stand a dog with their feet easty westy. They have to have nice feet. They can't have the toes that crump over each other. If you ever come to my house and you come see my yard, 9 times out of 10, every one of my dogs gonna have nice cat feet. So that's for me. The first thing I look at your dog feet, and then after that, I go by the tongue. I hate a dog with a long tongue hanging from their mouth. That to me takes away from the dog a lot. A lot of people like that exotic look. Me personally, I'm more of a clean look. I like my dog clean. I don't like them too freaky, too crazy. So yeah, my first thing is feet. I'm big on feet. Just like I look at my women's feet, I look at my dog feet. When did you realize breeding dogs can really secure the bag? I realized when I sold the standard, and then when I go by standard, most people who know dogs, they know how big a standard bully is. I sold the standard on a co-own for $6,500, and that was my first litter. So imagine somebody coming from, I've been screaming 1,200, and the dog that I want to keep, somebody offers me 6,500, just like it was nothing. So that's when I really knew like it was money in here. This lady wants to buy a dog for 6,500 that I didn't even spend that much on the C-section or the breeding. I got to take it more serious because that means what I'm doing, the quality of what I got must be good. So that's when I knew to secure the bag on my first litter. I knew that the dogs secure the bag. And my dogs were way bigger back then. What's harder, dog breeding or raising kids? I mean, I plead the fifth. They both the same. If you, actually, I give them 50-50. People are like, don't compare kids to dogs, but when you got a puppy, it's the same thing as you teaching the puppy. So yeah, I'm gonna go with raising kids. I had thought about it. I have 6 plus, no, I have 6 plus 2, so 8. So it's like, yeah, I think the dogs are a lot easier. They listen after like 9 months. They listen. Kids, they don't listen till they grown. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the dogs a lot easier. No offense. I hope none of my baby mamas see this. I'm sorry, y'all. The dogs are way easier. What was the most expensive lesson this game taught you? The most expensive lesson this game taught me was don't trust everybody with your information. And I'm not even talking about with your dogs. When I say it's gonna cost you, you tell the wrong person something and they'll cost you a lot of money and a lot of time, or you'll lose a lot of money. So yeah, that's the most expensive loss that I've taken, being friends with certain people and I'm taking losses believing in them, or, you know, having your faith in people. In this dog game, it's only your word, so, you know, it kind of sucks, but that's probably the most expensive loss that a lot of people take. Believing in something or somebody and it doesn't work out for you, but it works out for them. So, how you know which one is the right dog? You really don't know. Now, I won't sit here and tell y'all that, oh, well, you do this and put this together, because I've seen 2 great dogs come together and they only have 1 good puppy, and then that 1 good puppy I sold as a pet, and I kept the bullshit puppy. So a lot of people have an eye for it, but when you just looking at a dog, and I put it like this, for example, if I have 3 puppies, I can find out which one. But it's hard to differentiate when you have 8 puppies in a litter and you're trying to figure out who's the best. You 9 times out of 10, if you don't want to hold on to them puppy and you here for the bag, you're going to get rid of the best one to somebody who doesn't even care about dogs. They just want a pet. So sometimes it's real tricky with the dogs. A lot of people like, I got an eye. I be really feeling like people just get lucky. And sometimes you might do see a puppy that look good, but like I say, puppies are like kids. They change as they grow. So I don't want to lead nobody and tell nobody, oh, well, this the best puppy, because I've seen the ugliest puppy turn out to be the best puppy, and that person that has the puppy doesn't want to do any breeding. So it's like you gave that puppy for $500 and you sold the worst puppy for $3,000. But, you know, who am I to say that? I'm just saying for an example. So that's that with that situation. I don't want nobody to be like, well, who are you talking about? I ain't talking about nobody in general. I'm just saying that's how it usually goes. The dog you think is the best one, because he's a puppy, all puppies look cute. Everybody know that. Every puppy look cute until he started to grow. So remember that in mind. But about 8 months. To answer that question, I would say I would wait 8 to 9 months for me to tell which puppy is the one. But you would know as he matures. How do you deal with competition or hate from other dog breeders? That's crazy. Like, I don't want to speak too much on it, but I got a situation right now, not with me, but it's like this with the hate. It's going to be hate everywhere you go. Dog breeders especially, it's competition. I take it as competition. A lot of these guys bring the street and bring it into the dog game, and that's when you got to separate competition and hate, or you just take that hate and make it competition, because guys who come compete, we pop shit. We going to pop it. I got the best. But then you got dudes that don't pop it, and they be in their little group chats, and they be in certain stuff, and they sneak this. And I'm one of the people that I usually find out every fucking thing that don't got to do with me. I always find out. So yeah, how we deal with hate, we just ignore it and keep breeding these dogs. So let the dogs talk. For any people that want to come into this dog game, man, when y'all come into this dog game, most important, let the dogs talk. Stick with your vision and let your dogs talk, because You come into this game, these dudes will say all kind of crazy stuff, and they'll never see you, or they'll see you at a dog show and walk right by you. So when it's the hate, you just ignore it. Most of these guys that hate, they were nobodies in school. Most of the time, haters are the people that got picked on in school, so they try to bully you and hate on you and say little stuff, but you just ignore it. They don't give you money to feed your dogs. And another thing, I really don't pay attention because I don't sell dogs to breeders. I've yet to really want to sell a dog to a breeder. Because if anything go wrong, because they have their vision of a dog, if I sell them a dog and something goes wrong, they will spray you and make you like the worst person in the world. So you just ignore them. The competition, they just get competition because they see you doing something good. But in reality, there's no competition. You're your own competition. Do you think breeders get enough respect as entrepreneurs? Yes, I do. I honestly do. Now in this era, I mean, breeders are like the new scammers. Be honest, we not scamming, but we got some breeders that scam, and that'll be something I'll probably get asked in here before it's done. But they're like the new scammers. I get what I mean by that, like the new flashy guys. Remember the scammers back in the day probably was making like $1,500, $3,000, $5,000, a lot of money. Now we selling that for dogs. That's what I meant by, I think it made a door open for black brothers to make money and not sell drugs. Come out and come to a dog show and be together and, actually, communicate. It's really a good function. If anybody never been to a dog show, if you catch a good dog show, you'll love it. It's not just, it's dogs everywhere, but it's more to it than that. It's a culture. So I can truly say the dog culture is something that either you're going to hate it or you love it. But we're a real tight community, though. Talking about from state to state. Who do you look up to in this breeding industry? Okay, so I first like to say I look up to my big bro, Stbwrld. I fell in love with his dog, Devil's Toy, rest in peace, long live Devil's Toy. I fell in love with Lunatic, Bo Kendrick. I really look up to these two guys with this blood that they've been pushing. They really motivated me to get in the game without even saying nothing to me. So shout out Bo and shout out Buck, man. Buck, big bro. That's really, really like my mentor, the nigga I look up to. I fall out with him. His big brother, little brother, hate, love. And I mean, this other guy, I don't really look up to too many other breeders because, like I say, you don't know somebody. I can't really look up to somebody I don't know, and I'm real hands-on. And so when you're dealing with these dogs, you can't trust everybody. But those two genuine people that I met in the dog game, that I can truly say I got my vision from. And if you look at my dogs and you look at the dogs they have in the past, I'm still working their old blood. Let's see. What breeding mean to you personally? Breeding means to me personally like I'm bringing life into this world and I'm bringing joy to other people. Like a lot of these people come in this dog game for money. I'm one of them people. I might say I don't personally say it, but I've been in situations where people was less fortunate and couldn't afford a $3,000 dog. So I mean, it helped me help the community. Like, it helped me connect and it just, it just helped me connect with a lot of people. And I don't know what I'd be right now if I didn't breed dogs or fell in love with animals, because I always wanted to be a veterinarian, went to college for veterinary science. So breeding means a lot to me because I love animals, and it gives me a way to stay doing something that I love without having to, like, I don't have to go to be a vet, you know what I'm saying? I know a lot from studying, but now I don't have to go get a job at the veterinary because I make probably the same amount of veterinary makes at the end of the year when off of these dogs. If it's a good year, I'm doing good. So it means a lot personally. It means a lot because I don't know what I'd be doing right now. Kept me out of trouble. I've been on probation for like 10 years now. It kept me out of trouble for 10 years. So it means a lot to me. How much sleep you use doing this hustle? Okay, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I lose sleep. I'm not gonna tell y'all my cheat code, but I lose a lot of sleep when puppies come. Other than that, I don't lose sleep. Long as I don't have any newborn puppies and I got some good mamas in this dog game, breeders know, hint, hint, I won't give away the sauce, but you got a good mama, you gonna get a lot of sleep. Problem is, I probably sleep too much now. I'm gonna sleep too much now because I don't have any newborn puppies, so. But yeah, when you whelping, you do not sleep for the first 3 to 4 days. So I probably lost a lot of hours of sleep because last year I did a lot of breed, and a lot before that, I actually slowed down so I can have time to let my body catch up. But yeah, I've lost a lot of hours of sleep. I couldn't tell you, but usually, yeah, out of every month, if I was dropping a litter every 2 months, I'd probably lose like a good 2 weeks. If it was not all in 1 week, but I've stayed up for like 4 days at one time and slept for like an hour at a time. What's your daily routine with the dogs? Oh, my daily routine is get up, take you outside, let them play, take videos of them, stack them up, bring you back inside. You know, I clean their cages obviously in the morning while they're outside, but it's the same routine. They get taken outside 2 to 3 times a day, and cage is clean in the morning. It stays clean throughout the night. I might clean it at the end of the night before I go to bed, and you know, I let them, you know, regular routine, 3 times a day. If anything special, like today they got a bath, so they got to hang out a little longer today, and yeah, feed them dogs and bathe them, man. That's the routine. I hate when people like that's all you gotta do. Feed them, clean that doo-doo up. And don't leave them dogs in them pissy cages, and y'all will be all right. Really just take them outside. People always ask, how you do it? Just take the dogs outside. It's not that hard. How do you manage your business and your personal life? Okay, this is very hard because you can't really have a personal life when you're breeding these dogs, and I want to say like going out of town and stuff like that. It's hard. I'm not going to let anybody tell anybody, oh, it's just easy, because I can't take 10 dogs with me out of town. So now that's the problem. Who's gonna watch your dogs? And you know, you gotta have somebody that work with you. And if your partner doesn't like dogs, you're gonna catch hell. Or if your significant other doesn't like dogs, you're gonna catch hell. It's only gonna work for you in your personal life if you have a team or if you're doing it yourself. If not, I promise you, your life will be a living hell. Trust me. I see. That was a good one though. A lot of dudes be thinking I could do this, and then when your girl starts smelling the dog pee and poop, it's like, Business or brotherhood? Brotherhood. I'm gonna be real why I say brotherhood, because business everywhere business is tricky, especially when it's your word of mouth. So yeah, I would rather a brotherhood and a team of guys, or just, you know, being on a team of guys that we work together, but we our own bosses, instead of you know, that other stuff. That's not, you know, the business part is tricky with the dog. It's not like every other business. So if you gotta trust somebody, because these dog breeders are tricky. I'm not finna sit here and be like, this is the best thing in the world. Yeah, this just like the streets. Because there's no license. You don't need a license to breed dogs. So if you're trying to be business and do good business, it is good to do good business, but it's a business or brotherhood, I'm gonna go with brotherhood. But always do good business. But I'd rather do business with my brothers. That way I know, you know, it don't be no misunderstandings. What does Biginkthemob1k mean to you? Big Ink mean everything to me, because I built all this myself, man. I've had a lot of friends. I've had Ink Life, Ink Kennels. I've been everything, and I stay with my name. I noticed that a lot of people done change their names on Instagram. They go from click to click. And I can truly say, for the 7, 8 years I've been in the dog game, that name is stuck with me. So wherever I go at, you're gonna hear somebody say Ink, or you're gonna hear somebody say it's the mob. And it means a lot when people notice you. It actually gave me a character, because nobody called me Ink before I got into the dog game. Everybody, you know, it's always different names, but nobody never called me Ink till I got into the dog game. And I didn't really think nothing of it. I guess they thought because of my tattoos, but I've always had this idea of making my own clothing line and stuff called Ink Life Apparel. So, you know, it means a lot to me because it defines me. Now, at first I didn't understand why they was calling me Ink, because I'm like, bro, I don't do tattoos. I breed dogs. Y'all just call me because you see tattoos. But it rang a bell, and I just stayed with it, and it mean the world to me, man. Because if it wasn't for the people, I wouldn't be Ink. So yeah, it mean a lot to me. I got my name Ink from the dog game, and I just added the big Ink because it just got bigger, better, and every year as it went. And I kind of feel like I'm the biggest, but I think you should always feel like that in anything you do. And that's no diss. That's just saying like I feel like I'm the biggest and the best at what I do. How important is discipline in this business? Discipline in this business is very important. It's actually, if you don't have no discipline in this business, you will crash out. When I say, you will crash out, the comments will make you crash out. I went viral maybe like 2 years ago, had 1 million views on a reel I did, just an example, and I wasn't disciplined. I let it go to my phone getting all these followers. I'm up to like 12,000 followers. I never had 12,000 followers, and I wasn't disciplined. I was just letting it go to my head. People reaching out to me wanting to buy puppies, and I wasn't disciplined enough to make me just to sit down and make like a contract. I didn't have nothing. I just went viral off of this reel, and it was one dog, and I think it was the Kevin Gates quote: "Go where you appreciate it, not where you." Go where you celebrate, not where you appreciate. Something like I just know I posted that, and it went viral. And I wasn't disciplined enough to settle down and take the right, what can I say? Go the right way about posting, because I didn't understand Instagram, and I wasn't disciplined enough. I was just happy with my phone keep getting a new like. I'm going up, my number's going up. I'm making a little $50, $60, $100 here, $200 1 month. Instagram sending me. And instead of me disciplining myself and locking in, seeing if Instagram taking notice to pay me, I should lock in with this shit for real, and ended up losing my page and not taking the proper cost. So discipline is the number one, because people will piss you off and you'll say the wrong thing, and you'll lose your page and lose all your contacts, and you'll lose all your clients off of just not being disciplined. You'll scare away business too with not being disciplined. You'll scare away a lot of business. So you gotta have tough skin in this dog game. Name things people don't see behind the scenes in the breeding industry. They don't see when dogs prolapse, that's the first one. Prolapse when they bleed from their private part. They don't see when the anal prolapses. They don't see the puppies die after you done paid for an $800 C-section. They don't see those. They don't see when we gotta pick up shit. They don't see nothing but pretty dogs and us at the shows, and how can I say, we flashy, but behind the scenes, they don't see we gotta buy pads, dog food, all this stuff. And then when you go to tell them your price, they be like, that's too much. But sometimes we paid the price to make our money back. So yeah, behind the scenes, nobody see the picking up the pee, the poop, the dogs that fight, the dogs that get rashes. They're just like kids, bro. They're really just like kids. Like, whatever you do behind the scene at home with your kids, I'm pretty sure you're going to do that with a dog. They didn't tell you dogs get UTIs. Nobody told me dogs get UTIs like females. That's another thing. Amoxicillin, you got to give them antibiotics. People don't tell you that. Like, your dog could get a UTI from not drinking too much and having enough water. Or your dog could have water pups because she drink too much water. I didn't even know a dog could drink too much water and mess up her puppy. So it's a lot of stuff. Split heats. I didn't know a dog could have their period twice in 1 month and during the period stage. Like, it'll go off and come back on, and you don't even know if the dog's pregnant or not. Oh, and the last but not least, I would say about what they don't tell you behind the scenes, because a lot of people come in the dog game and they dogs don't get pregnant. They never tell people about false pregnancies and phantom pregnancies, like your dog will literally swell up and look like she's pregnant and abort the puppies. So, and they don't also tell you about the clients that come back with the BS. So, yeah, it's a lot of stuff you don't see behind the scenes. That's where the discipline comes at. Be disciplined enough to leave that shit behind the scenes. Because as soon as you put one person in your business, the dog game is just like anything else. You have a roach crawl across your floor and somebody see it on the camera, you will go viral. So, that being said, those are the things you have to always worry about. Cleaning walls, scrubbing walls, dogs shitting in dogs' period getting on the wall. They never tell you, too, when your dog get a period, she's going to shake her tail and put blood all over your white walls. They don't tell you that, but you learn as you go. Last two questions. Let's see. Let's see what this. I like these questions going for. I like this. What breed got the game in a chokehold right now? Oh, man. I'm just going to say bullies because they have this thing now. You got the exotic bully guys and you got the American bully guys. Me personally, I just say bullies. The bullies right now really got the game in a chokehold, but I'm starting to notice a couple of other breeds coming back out. So, but right now, it's really, to me, honestly, it's not even the bullies got the game in the chokehold. They come in second place. I would say the Frenchies. The Frenchie community is way different, though. Even though I indulge in both, the Frenchie community is a little more organized. I mean, if we want to say this, the Frenchie community are not the people, and the bully community is the people. So you got Tootsies is the Frenchie community, and then you got the Rolex is the bully community. We at 24. The Frenchies going to Tootsie, so yeah, they got the game in the chokehold because I mean the bullies making their comeback, but the Frenchies for sure, got the game in a chokehold. Frenchies really do, cause they always changing. That's why I say that, cause I don't want none of my fellow breeders that they see this. Oh damn boy, you ain't say the bullies. No, it ain't really the bullies. It's just like the Frenchies change so much. You got hairless Frenchies, you got velvet, you got all these new, every week it's a new kind of Frenchie. You got a husky Frenchie coy, you got all kind of new stuff. So, that right there alone, they tipped the iceberg, like they right there. They got fluffy Frenchie. You got every kind of Frenchie. So yeah, that's one of those breeds that's why I'm not too particular in it, because they change every month. You got to stay with the wave. If you're not with the wave with the Frenchies, you will get left behind. And who doesn't like cute little Frenchies? What's something you had to learn early on in this breeding industry? These niggas not your friends. That same thing they told you when you was growing up as a kid. Don't trust nobody. And if you do have somebody in your circle you trust, stick with them. Don't trust nobody's word in the dog game. If it's not showed by actions, don't go off nobody's word. People will manipulate you and trick you and will make you angry, very angry. So, yeah, that being said, I learned not to trust people. I put my trust in people, and you either get your feelings hurt, they let you down, or you put so much energy into them and they don't put nothing into you. So that's why what I said in the beginning from the first question, always follow your vision, because this shit is treacherous. Like I said, you don't have to fill out an application to breed dogs. So basically